Have you ever met someone who seemed too good to be true? The kind of person who remembers your favorite drink, laughs at your jokes, and texts just when you're feeling down? That was Daniela. She entered Emily's life like a quiet breeze, gentle, helpful, and always present. In a world full of flaky friendships, Daniela seemed like a rare gem. But what Emily didn't know was that beneath the kind words and shared secrets, Daniela wasn't who she claimed to be. What started as late-night talks and weekend coffee dates slowly unraveled into a nightmare Emily never saw coming. A betrayal so deep it left her questioning everyone around her and herself. This isn't just a story about losing a friend. It's about uncovering a mask worn so well, even the person behind it believed it. This is the story of how Emily discovered the real identity of the friend she never really knew. Emily was never someone who trusted easily. After a rough breakup and moving to a new city for her graduate studies, she kept her world small: classmates, a few coworkers, and her journal. Then she met Daniela at a campus volunteer meeting. Daniela was warm, funny, and had this calming presence that felt instantly safe. They bonded over chai lattes and shared playlists. Within weeks, they were inseparable. Daniela seemed to just get her childhood fears, her insecurities, her dreams. Emily finally felt seen. It was a friendship that felt like fate. Everyone needs that one person who anchors them when life gets stormy. For Emily, that person was Daniela. But little did she know, this anchor was tied to something much darker, and instead of grounding her, it would pull her under. At first, the signs were so subtle Emily dismissed them. A text from Daniela saying, "Don't wear that red top again, it's not your color," felt oddly controlling. Or the time Daniela accidentally forwarded a private message to someone Emily had confided in. When confronted, Daniela always had a soft, tearful apology ready. "I just care too much," she'd say. "You're the only friend I have." Emily, wanting to be loyal, chalked it up to emotional intensity. Daniela had shared that she had a troubled past, an absent father, betrayal from former friends. Emily believed her. Everyone's a little broken, she reasoned. It didn't occur to her that Daniela's past might not just be tragic, but fabricated. And with every piece of trust Emily handed over, Daniela wove herself tighter into her world, until pulling away didn't feel like an option. The tipping point came on a Tuesday afternoon. Emily returned to her apartment to find her journal gone. The one she always kept hidden in her nightstand. That evening, Daniela casually referenced a dream Emily had written about, one she had never shared out loud. Her stomach turned. "Wait, how did you know that?" she asked. Daniela blinked and brushed it off with a laugh. "You told me, didn't you?" But Emily knew she hadn't. That night, she searched her apartment top to bottom. The journal was back, placed neatly under a different book. That was the first time Emily felt fear. Real fear. Not the nervousness of confrontation, but the bone-deep awareness that someone had violated her inner world. And worse, that person had keys to her apartment, her trust, and her mind. Emily tried to distance herself. Canceled plans. Ignored texts. But Daniela didn't take the hint. The messages turned manipulative. "You're all I have. Why are you punishing me? You're just like everyone else." Then came the gifts, flowers on her doorstep, cookies left on her windshield, all without explanation. Emily felt like she was losing control of her life. When she changed her locks, Daniela left a note in her mailbox that read, "Locks don't keep out memories." The handwriting was unmistakably hers. That night, Emily couldn't sleep. She realized this wasn't just an unhealthy friendship, it was something more insidious. Obsession, invasion, and maybe premeditation. Desperate for answers, Emily did what she should have done months ago. She searched Daniela's name online. But nothing added up. No social profiles, No digital footprint from her supposed high school or previous job. Emily called the volunteer organization where they met, only to find out Daniela wasn't on their records. Panic surged. Who was this person she'd let into her home, her secrets, her life? Emily remembered a selfie they took together early on and used a reverse image search. What came up shattered her world. Daniela's real name wasn't Daniela. She had gone by 3 aliases in the past 5 years and had been investigated, but never charged, for identity fraud and harassment in 2 different states. Emily's skin went cold. This wasn't just betrayal. It was calculated deception. Emily went straight to the police. They took her report seriously, especially after she presented screenshots, journal entries, and the image search results. The officer in charge told her she wasn't the first to come forward. What Emily learned next left her speechless. Daniela had a pattern. She targeted women going through transitions, new cities, breakups, grief. She mirrored their personalities, absorbed their pain, and embedded herself in their lives until she could no longer be removed without damage. She didn't steal money. She stole trust, identity, emotional safety. And for some, that damage was more lasting than any financial loss. Emily was told to file a restraining order. But the worst part? Daniela was gone. Vanished. Like a ghost who never existed. In the weeks that followed, Emily struggled with paranoia. Every message from an unknown number made her jump. Every kind smile from a stranger felt like a trap. Therapy helped, but slowly. The hardest part wasn't losing a friend, it was learning to trust her own judgment again. How could she have missed the signs? Why did she excuse so much? Emily journaled every day, not to document fear, but to rebuild her voice. The experience left scars, but also gave her strength. She started speaking out online, anonymously at first, sharing her story with others who had gone through similar manipulation. She found community, validation, and a renewed sense of power. Her vulnerability became her weapon. Months passed. Emily changed her routines, changed apartments, and even dyed her hair. She wanted to leave the shadow of Daniela behind. But what she couldn't leave was the lesson: evil doesn't always look like a monster. Sometimes it looks like a friend, a comforting voice, a person who knows exactly what to say. Emily no longer walked through the world naively. But she didn't walk in fear either. She had learned that boundaries are sacred, that intuition isn't to be questioned, and that not all kindness is pure. Some is a performance. And some performances hide predators. One day, while scrolling through her messages, Emily found an old voice memo Daniela had sent. It was just her humming, a lullaby Emily's mother used to sing. That was the final straw. Emily deleted the message and blocked the number for good. She whispered a goodbye, not to Daniela, but to the girl she had been when they first met. That girl was gone. In her place stood someone tougher, wiser, and infinitely more cautious. Someone who wouldn't fall for masks again. The girl who once longed for a best friend had learned that sometimes the person offering comfort is also holding the knife. And that lesson might have just saved her life. If this story stirred something in you, anger, sadness, fear, or even recognition, you're not alone. So many of us have trusted the wrong people, believed in masks that smiled sweetly while hiding something sinister. We crave connection, but it can come at a cost when our guard is down. Let this be a reminder: your instincts are powerful and your boundaries are valid. Trust them. If you've ever felt used, manipulated, or emotionally entangled with someone who wasn't who they claimed to be, share your experience in the comments. Your story might help someone else spot the signs and walk away sooner. Please like this video if it resonated with you, and subscribe to the channel for more real-life inspired stories that uncover the hidden layers of human behavior. Your support helps us continue creating emotional, eye-opening narratives that matter. Share this video with a friend who needs to hear it. It might just open their eyes. And remember, healing takes time, but awareness is the first step. Until next time, stay grounded, stay guarded, and never forget, Sometimes the most dangerous people don't wear a villain's face, they wear a friend's smile. Until next time, stay kind, stay sharp and stay curious.